Hello guys, my name is Nate. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm very excited because I'm going to be announcing a new readathon that I'm going to be doing in November. Now, this is a readathon that I was kind of going to do for myself anyway, and then I decided to, why not make it a thing that I could share? If other people wanted to do it, they could join in. I don't see many people wanting to, but you know, it's out there, people might want to. So I have dubbed this readathon the Manga Bingo Readathon, and the idea is I have created this bingo board that has 25 different manga prompts, and I'm going to be reading a different volume of manga for each prompt. Now this started because I wanted to do a reading 30 manga in 30 days in November, and so that's kind of how it transformed into this. I'm still going to be doing that, but 30 didn't really work nicely on a bingo prompt, whereas 25 worked quite nicely. So the other 5 volumes are just going to be random 5 volumes that I'll read out throughout the month. Now, like I said, I am doing this myself anyway, and I don't really expect people to join in, but if they do, you can join in whatever way you like. You don't have to follow the same rules that I'm doing. You don't have to read 25 different volumes. You could just do one line and call it a bingo. You know, it's completely open and up to whatever people want to do. But I thought I'd give you the basic rules that I'm going to do, and yeah, if people did want to join in, adapt them to however you want. It's not deep, it's not serious, it's not strict, it's for fun and just to read more manga. So I'm going to be reading 25 different volumes for each of the prompts. If you wanted to, you could read one volume for 5 different prompts. You know, you could read Naruto, for instance, that would be like a shonen, a ninja, continuous series, anything, you know. You could read one for multiple. I'm going to read 25 different volumes for each of the different prompts. This readathon or manga-athon is running from the 1st of November to the 30th of November. It's not though going to be one a day for me. I'm going to probably have a couple of days where I sit and read 5 volumes, and then some days where I read nothing. Again, very, very chill. I've also set this up for a load of prompts, basically to be for trying to hit series that I've had for ages, or I've had volumes 1s of for ages, and I just kind of want to read to see if I want to continue the series. So I'm going to be reading different volumes. I'm not going to have any kind of double overs throughout the whole 25. The extra 5 that I read might be double over, but for the 5 that I'm reading for the Manga Bingo, they're all going to be different series. Again, you don't have to do that. You could read 5 volumes of Haikyuu for 5 different prompts if you wanted to. A rule that I do have, which people can do however they want, if you have a omnibus volume of a series, you can count it as 1, which is what I'm going to do, or you can count it as how many volumes are in there. I think there are 3 in this, so you could just read the first volume and then that could count for 1 volume. I just include omnibuses as 1 because they are just in one bound up, but obviously you don't have to do that. If you want to read a whole omnibus for 3 different volumes, absolutely do it. Like I said, I'm doing 1 for 1, but that's just another little rule that's added in. Do what you fancy, basically. Let's go over the Manga Bingo little board that I made up. I made it up using Canva, so I didn't actually make the template up. I just changed all the words. So yeah, let's go through them one by one. I have it also on my iPad, which is where I'm reading from. For our first row is probably the most self-explanatory row for all the prompts. We have a shonen manga, a shoujo manga, starter series, continuous series, and a new author, new mangaka. I think they're all pretty self-explanatory. Yeah, I don't think I need to go into any of those any deeper. In row 2, we have a sports series. So any series that has any kind of sport in it. It could be like Haikyuu, which is volleyball. It also could be something, you could also do something like Chihaya Furu, which is I believe like some kind of card game. I would say that's kind of a sports series. There is also like a series called Hikaru no Go, which is about the board game Go. You could include that as well. I think those could be classified as sports series. We have a school romance, that's self-explanatory. Finish a series, so finish the last volume of a series. A series that you have seen the adaptation of. Again, this could be you've watched the Haikyuu anime, you want to carry on with the series, and then a familiar author. So for this one, you could read a new series by the same author that you have read. I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to be reading a new Clamp series, or you could just be reading volume 2 of a series that you've already read volume 1 of, because then that's the familiar author. So yeah, however you fancy. A series with 20 plus volumes. I mean, there's quite a lot of shonen series in particular. There are about that, but so like Naruto, Bleach, One Piece, My Hero, there's loads. And then a series with less than 10 volumes, which I actually think is slightly harder. There are some romance series that are quite short, and I think maybe more like horror series standalones or slice of lifey stuff. So that one's slightly more harder. I do have some, so I have got like prompts for these, so I'm good. The next one I will leave to the end, which is the Nate Rec / free pick. And we have a slice of life series. So this is kind of more of a general fiction, just something like daily lives going on. Yeah, slice of life, and then a series that is complete. This prompt, you don't have to complete the series just has to be finished by the time the readathon's going on. So again, that is a ton of series, but yeah, so a series that isn't ongoing. And then on row 4, we have a series with samurai or ninjas. Obviously Naruto would be one of the most popular options for this, but I'm actually going for a samurai route. But yeah, I just thought they were popular, common themes in manga, and I thought that would be quite nice. A manga with LGBT rep, you could obviously read any kind of BL for this, but there are other series that have different rep. There's lots of series you could read for a LGBT rep, an adult series, so just any series that is rated over 18. I think a lot of horrors would fit into this, a sci-fi series, and then an ongoing series. So again, this would just be a series that is still currently being published. One Piece would work for this. My Hero, Spy Family, these are all ongoing series. You can also, if you do want to twist that prompt a little bit, which I have done for another one, you can also use it for an ongoing series published in English. So maybe the Japanese publication has finished, but all the volumes haven't yet been published in English, so you can do that one if you want to. I can't think off the top of my head what would count for that, but you could do it like that. So it's a finished series, but it's still ongoing, being published in English. That could work. And then for our final row, we have a spin-off. This was literally put on there so I could read Boruto, because I have volume 1 of that, but you could read, say, any of the other Dragon Balls, anything Yu-Gi-Oh! You could read, like, the My Hero team-ups, you could read one of, like, a light novel that's on something, you know, anything that's not from the core series that could count for. A manga that is pre-2010, I have loads of older series, so that's kind of why I wanted to get it on there, and then a post-2020. Now, this is one I've kind of spun slightly. So, you could have a series that is completely started post-2020, or you could interpret this as the volume was released post-2020. So it could be the latest volume of a series out this year. It could be the latest volume of One Piece. It could be the latest volume of My Hero, the latest volume of Spy Family, whatever. Could also do it as in when it was published in English. For instance, I have a series that I'm going to be using for this, which started published in 2019 in Japan, but the English volume wasn't published until 2023. So I'm going to use it for that. So it's post-2020 in English. Spin it a little bit, but you know, it's different ways you can interpret it, that one. And then we have a fantasy magic series, and then a series you know nothing about. So that's the main core 24, and then we also have in the middle, in the heart, we have the Nate Rec, or the free pick. The free pick is quite obvious, you just pick whatever you want. But for the Nate Rec, I thought it'd be fun to do a kind of recommend 3 different series that I really like, and if they sound interesting to you, you can read one of them. Obviously you don't have to, you could just do a free pick and read whatever, but I just thought that would be fun as a way to kind of share the series that I really like. So I have 3 different series that I will go through. First of all is the most popular out of all 3 of them. It's probably one of the things that I would say is probably one of the best complete manga series out there, and that is Full Metal Alchemist. This is a fantasy, science fiction, political series. It is about 2 young brothers who learn alchemy, and when their mother passes away, they decide to do the biggest taboo you can do in alchemy, and try to bring their mother back from the dead. This goes terribly wrong and results in our main character, Ed, losing his leg, and then his younger brother, Alphonse, losing his entire body in this transmutation gone wrong. So Ed sacrifices his arm to tether his brother's soul to a suit of armor. There's Alphonse. And so then the series is basically them going through the rest of the series, trying to find the Philosopher's Stone and a way to get their original bodies back. And they do this, Ed ends up joining the military as a state alchemist, and yeah, the plot really develops from there. It becomes a very political series, but it has so much heart, it has so much action. It has, I think, one of the best wrapped up series that I've ever read. Things that happen in volume 1 are still mentioned later on, and I just think it's one of the best series in existence. It has an anime as well, which if you don't want to read the manga, I would at some point recommend, if you're into anime, watching the anime, because it's so good. And yeah, so this is the first one of the Nate Rec. I'm actually going to be reading this for this pick anyway, because I have not read this version. I have all these series complete in the regular editions, but I have the first volume of these Full Metal editions, which I would love to collect all of them of. So I will be reading this for this pick. And then in a completely different genre, I am putting on the first volume of Genkan Shoujo no Nozaki-kun, or Monthly Girls Nozaki-kun. This is a 4-panel manga. 4-panel manga is basically, it has a layout like this, and so you read it going down, and every kind of page has like a punchline and a joke. So there, it's a comedy manga, it's a slice of life, a slight bit of romance, but not really. And so there'll be a chapter that will have like an ongoing plot, but then each page will have like a setup, a punchline, and like the joke. So I thought this would be a really interesting one for people who've never read anything 4-paneled before. This is also just a really fun, light-hearted series. It has an anime, which I recommend as well, which might work better for some people if you don't like the format of this. This is a series about our main character, Nozaki-kun. He is a romance shoujo author, which he's in high school and no one really knows about this, but he ends up befriending a girl, Sakura, who has a crush on him, and it's basically just a series about their shenanigans with him trying to come up with new ideas for his manga, and then having all these friends that end up helping him out, like do the backgrounds, do the flowers. Sakura ends up lining stuff for him. Yeah, it's just a silly series that is about a group of teenagers trying to come up with romance stories and just like teenage life without any drama. Like there's not really drama in this, and it's just silly and it's fun and I absolutely adore it. So I thought this would be a nice recommendation, a change of pace for anyone that's not read it. Again, if you don't want to read it, I would absolutely recommend the anime. It's 13 episodes and it's a great introduction, I think, to the series. So that's the second recommendation. And then the third one is, again, a bit slightly different, and it is I Shield 21. This is volume 1, and this is a American football sports manga. This follows our main character, Senna, who is here, and he is kind of bullied, and he doesn't really have any friends, and he ends up being he's a bit weak-willed, and so ends up kind of being a runner for people. Like, he ends up doing a load of jobs for people just because he's quite scared, and so because of that, he's become quite fast at running. So Hiruma, who is kind of like the school demon, he is also the captain of the American football team, which has 2 members, and like, so for every game, they have to, like, he blackmails people into just playing the game with them so they can enter competitions, and so he sees Senna can run really fast and recruits him to be the runner for American football, and it kind of develops from there. The whole series is about them trying to get into competitions, developing their team, building their team. They get a lot of members throughout the series, and it's just a really, really fun series. If you've never read a sports series, I will warn, sports series are wacky and extreme in terms of what actually happens in the sports stuff. It ends up sometimes going to the point past humanly possible, but that's kind of the fun of it. And I think the art in this is really, really nice. This is a 2002 series it started in, and it does have 37 volumes, so it is a big series, but it's, I think, really, really good. And I literally learned everything I know about American football from this, which isn't a lot, but whatever I learned from this. Those are the 3 recommendations for the Nate pick. Like I said, if you don't want to read any of them, you can just do a free pick and read whatever. So that's all the different prompts and all the different rules. Now, I will hopefully have a Google Doc link in the description, which will have a link to the Manga Bingo board. If not, I will put it up on the screen now and you could screenshot it if you like. I'm going to be making a separate video, which will go up a little bit after this one, which will have all the books that I'm going to be reading for the specific prompts, so that might give you more ideas if you don't have any ideas for ones that you might want to do. So this is the first kind of readathon that I'm doing on my channel. Like I said, I don't really expect many people to be involved. It might just be me. My sister said she'd do it, so maybe it'll just be me and her. I just thought it'd be a fun thing to share. I'm still going to do this. I might update this throughout the month, but in shorts instead of in long form content, just because 25 volumes is a lot, and so I probably, as well, at my end of my November wrap-up, won't go over them in detail. But so I might update them in shorts, but we'll see. But I think that's everything. I don't think I need to film anything else. I don't think I need to say anything else. If you did want to participate and had any questions, feel free to leave them down below. Like I said, I don't know if anyone will. Maybe it'll just be me. I am still going to be doing my end of month TBR game, and I'm going to be trying to get some of those prompts on there, but I do still want to have some books throughout the month of November. But yes, that is all I have to say for this video, so thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again hopefully soon.